So there's also another way to look at Disclosure Day. And for as peaceful as the movie is, in saying we have to have a peaceful there has to be a peaceful way of communicating. The spy network has to stop with how they're mishandling and mistreating the aliens. There's another way to look at it on if it's these government organizations and the whistleblowers, if they're talking about the aliens needing to do that. If Disclosure Day means, hey, aliens, knock it off. We need a peaceful way of you communicating with us besides the crop circles and the abduction and the molesting. Usually if you hear an alien story, it's about how an alien snatched someone in a crop circle. They snatched them and some cows. And then they fondled everyone to figure out what they were up to. Like, how do they work? And then they re-release the alien. I mean, the people and the cows. And they're all traumatized. So far, the alien pictures that they've shown are of dead aliens. It's sad. It's a weird idea that they travel. I remember listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about it, and he was saying it's so odd that the aliens can travel across space and time, because there's one idea too, is that they have to be so technologically ahead that it was the idea of stars in the sky. If you see a star in the sky and it's 40,000 light years away, that means that light. I love it when he talks about it. That means that light traveled 40,000 years to get to you, which means it's a type of time travel of where you're not seeing the light from that star right now. You're seeing the light from that star 40,000 years ago. It takes 40,000 years to travel that distance to get to you, which means it traveled 40,000 years. Which means it's a type of, whenever you're stargazing, it's a type of time machine. And these aliens have the ability to cross that kind of distance. Which means if they are out there 40,000 light years away, then they were able to zip around. We're 2,000 years into civilization, I think. So whatever they are, they're the Gratmas. They have to be so far ahead. It looks so weird. Those videos is they're so far. How can they be so far ahead and still find themselves in a get your hands off me situation? I don't get it. They have the upper hand. They have they have all sorts of advantages. I mean, they zip around. They show up here, and it's just I don't know what to say about Disclosure Day. I think part of the message of the movie is about kindness. It's about people pushing for kindness. Um, it's from the person or persons who the whistleblower speaks up for. It is thinking about it. It's a bit of well wishing, but any sort of conflict. He starts the movie out with a wrestling match. So Disclosure Day is a type of narrative that helps to lead people out of conflict. I hate the point, but it's the Middle East, for example. It's a back and forth. Any sort of uh, well, you said wrestling match. It's he suggests that a type of going home needs to happen. Um, I'm trying to think what happened at the end of the movie. She had to experience a type of going home, and the alien asked her to listen. So that might be the lesson of the movie: is how do you see yourself out of conflict? Is to stop doing and start listening. So I'm going to go with that one. Disclosure Day means to listen instead of to act, to listen instead of act. Peace means listening instead of acting. Disclosure Day is saying something like that, I think. Peace is found through listening instead of acting. Okay, so I took another break. The the idea with Disclosure Day, I'm not sure if I said this in the other one, but it could be that he's trying to say the opposite. Uh, there's one spy network which is split to have whistleblowers. And the whistleblowers are saying that they're tired of basically how dark it is, the network of keeping the secret of spies, of aliens. They're hurting people, they're hurting the aliens. It's like a dark cloud, it seems. And that's pretty much where the movie, I think the point of the movie is. So the alien, which is, if you look at it, there's a whistleblower, and usually that means that that person is trying to protect someone else. That someone else is the alien. And the alien begins to ask for help from a weather lady. Now, what I was saying is the way he might be saying this backwards. He might be saying that all of this roughage needs to stop, meaning the aliens need to stop being so rough, being so difficult, being so harmful. They, whatever you think of an alien abduction, it's some guy that walks out into a cornfield or something, and they press down on the crops, destroy his crops, and then they yank him up into a spaceship and touch him a bunch. Him and the cows. They yank them up, and then they strip them naked, and they start probing. And then they drop them right back down in the cornfield in the crop circle. And after that, they're just traumatized. They don't like aliens after that. With this movie, he could be saying, aliens, please knock it off. You've got a heavy hand. If you want to communicate with us, please be more like the weather lady. If you've got information to share with us, don't go snatching us up and strapping us to a table to say grotma, grotma. Be more like the weather lady and say it's raining and hail, and maybe I get to talk at the big desk one day. Just, he could be saying be more kind. But there's also the idea, what does the movie mean? It starts with a wrestling match. I recorded this yesterday and lost it. So I'm kind of trying to remember. This movie starts with a wrestling match, and car just went by. And part of what that means is, not means, but where they go with this is, you follow the weather lady and then she has to go home. There's a whole segment of the film about her going home, feeling at home, going up to her childhood bed and resting. And then it turns into an autopsy table. The wrestling match is a symbol of divided signs, or split factions at war with each other. And it hit me yesterday that he could be talking about how to bring peace about in general. Disclosure Day could, even though it's talking about aliens and whatnot, the message of the movie could be talking about how do people achieve peace, because that is the story of how do these two sides achieve peace. And this wrestling match is basically any war. And how do you bring about peace in the end? And I think he's saying a type of coming home has to happen, where people have to do a type of reset. They have to do a type of reset and go back to the beginning, where they were. Basically, what the movie says is the aliens have two messages. They tell her to go home and feel comfortable at home like she used to, like when she was a kid. And then they tell her to listen. So, based on this movie, the message, the idea could be that in order to achieve a type of peace, that someone needs to, I don't know, a faction needs to go home. Really interesting. Holy cow. They need to go home, as in get off the battlefield. They have to go home and then listen. Listen to the other side. That's such a peaceful, kind message. All right, Disclosure Day's pretty good. Uh, there was something else I said yesterday. The beginning of the movie. I said something about yeah, what I just said, something about peace. I said in order to achieve peace, you have to listen, which is the message of. That's the excuse me. That's the message of what the aliens say at the end. So he really brought it home. Okay, well that's Disclosure Day. Um, it's a peaceful movie. If it looks like it looks like he set people up for what is that plague movie? Pandemic. It looked like he set people up for that, and it's not. It's not what happens after Disclosure Day. It's this. How do people get over this bad treatment?